Tribes. Meredith Moody here, and this is Term 2, Week 3. Let's get started. So this week we're on core value number 3, which is our I, invite others in. And so the premise of this really is that you're going to have weeks that feel like a beatdown. And some of you might be like, yeah, Meredith, that's this week. You're going to be tempted to bail when you fall short or when you feel like you have nothing to offer your tribe. But really, the whole point of inviting others in is that you show up anyway. You push in anyway. You are honest anyway. You see, the enemy of your soul really, really, really wants you to feel isolated. But look, you're not alone in your struggle. That's a lie. Every single person in the room with you right now, at some point or another, has felt like a failure. I feel like a failure all the time. And the reality is, I am a failure. I couldn't save myself. That's the whole reason Jesus had to come and live the life that he lived and die the death that he did and rose victoriously from the grave 3 days later, is because I can't save myself. I fail in so many ways. And so we want you to bring your efforts. We want you to bring your successes, but we also want you to bring your lack of perfection to tribe. And a lot of times this rubs us the wrong way. Like I know I want people to see the version of me that I want to be instead of maybe the version of me that I actually am. We do that cropped and edited thing. But look, this isn't the place for that. Set your pride aside. Leave it at home. Show up to tribes. Be prayed for. Leave encouraged. That's what this whole core value is about. Invite others into the mess. So this week, we are plugging and chugging through Colossians. At this point, we're memorizing verses 19 and 20 this week. So when you come to tribe next week, you're going to be saying verses 15 through 20. And this is just a snapshot of the gospel. But for this week, you've got verses 19 through 20, which is for in him all the fullness of God was pleased to dwell, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether on earth or in heaven, making peace by the blood of his cross. Woof. That stuff is so good. In him, the fullness of God was pleased to dwell. He was fully God. Jesus was fully God, fully man. And through Jesus' work on the cross, through him fulfilling the law, all things were reconciled to himself, which means he literally paved the way and bought back his enemies through the peace that comes from the blood that he shed on the cross. It's just, it blows my mind. It's so amazing. So think about this stuff. Dwell on this stuff. Sit in this stuff. You are not perfect. You are not God. You cannot save yourself. God had to send his own son to reconcile to himself things that he'd already created. We were his, but we chose to be enemies. It just blows my mind. It's so amazing. So anyway, this week we're adding verses 19 and 20. So next week when you come to tribe, you're going to be saying verses 15 through 20. Now at the end of week 6 for this tribe term, you're going to be saying all that you know from Colossians. So that's Colossians 1 verses 3 through, I think, 27. Which it seems like a lot, but remember, we're adding this piece by piece by piece. Hiding scripture in our heart is never going to return void. It's amazing. So don't let it go. And then this week for your weekly challenge, I want you to consider ways that you have been an enemy to God. So what are some things that you blatantly do that make you obviously disobedient to God, but what are some things that you might hide in your heart and justify? So like, for example, I have a tendency to justify my behavior when it's not socially bad. Even when it is bad, I justify my behavior. But when it's not socially bad, like it is not socially bad for me to work well over a 40-hour week. In fact, some people would praise me for that and say, just got that hustle, whatever. But I know that I'm not doing it from a place of that's healthy. I'm doing it from a place of working for other people's approval. And so I don't need other people's approval. I have God's approval, which literally, he is giving me peace by the blood of the cross. I don't have to work for anybody else's approval. But I tend to overexert myself and say yes to things that I shouldn't say yes to, not because of anything healthy, but because I want other people to love me. as if I deserve for them to love me. And the reality is, yes, people should treat me with love and respect, but I don't need their love and respect. I have God's. I've been fully approved as a workman of Christ. So, weekly challenge for this week. Think about ways that you have been acting as an enemy of God, because that's one for me, that I want the approval of other people. And then think through what that looks like in your life, and then tell somebody about it and ask them to come alongside you, invite them in, to be like, hey, where are you misbelieving or disbelieving the gospel here? Okay? All right. Well, I think that's it for this week. I love being on mission with you.